You guys, we are building the fastest world record-breaking production car, and it's a Subaru. The historical Bonneville Speedway, located in the West Desert of Utah and home to some of the fastest cars on the planet. This is where legends are made, champions are dethroned, and you risk more than just your ego getting destroyed. Bonneville Salt Flats is no cushy place. It's claimed its fair share of victims over the years. With virtually no traction, dangerous crosswinds, and unpredictable terrain. At speed, one single mistake can end your day. It's just miles and miles of unforgiving salt, and it's the perfect place to test a vehicle's top speed, break records, and it's exactly what we're gonna do in a Subaru. This car sitting behind me is our newest project car. Now, we are on a pretty tight budget, so some compromises had to be made, and I know it's pretty rough, but we're going to turn this car into a record-setting version 6 STi, and we've got about 6 months to do it. Now, first thing, this is racing. With any racing event, there's gonna be some rules, and the SCTA, who is the official top speed timing organization, well, they're definitely no exception. We're gonna be racing in their production supercharged class, which is specific for mass-produced vehicles with 4 doors and that were factory equipped with a turbocharger or a supercharger. And within that particular class, we have a few regulations to follow as well. The exterior needs to be a 100% factory example of that particular car. So for example, we're building this into a version 6 style STi, so that means we have to have version 6 bumper, wings, side skirts, hood, etc. We are also limited to a production engine block that was used in the exact same chassis. Lucky for us, one of Subaru's best engines they've ever made fits within this rule, the legendary EJ207. Now there is one tiny requirement. It's actually going to make this project incredibly exciting. Our race class is limited to 1 liter. That's right, 1 liter, 1,000 cc's, or 61 cubic inches of fury. Now, this entire concept isn't exactly new. In fact, our friends over at Moto IQ, who kind of paved the way for us to do this, well, they did something similar a few years back in the 1.5 liter class with their 240 SX. They essentially de-stroked an SR20 and smashed, and I mean smashed, the record, hitting just over 184 miles an hour. Now, I'm sure you're scratching your head thinking, well, how are they gonna turn an EJ20 into a 1 liter engine? Well, here's how. First, we take the 2 liter EJ20. Next, we remove the piston and the rods from cylinder 3 and cylinder 4, and poof, 1 liter engine. Now, obviously, it's not quite that easy, and there's definitely more involved, like what do we do with the unused valve guides, how do we block off the rod journal oil ports, spark plug holes, etc. But basically, that's the plan in a nutshell. People have told us that this approach just simply won't work. However, due to the inherent nature of the Boxer design, with its opposing pistons, it will remain perfectly balanced, even running on 2 cylinders. In fact, the very first Boxer engine ever created was a 2-cylinder. Now, this was way back in 1897 by our buddy Carl Benz. 2-cylinder Boxer engines have been powering motorcycles since 1905. BMW and other manufacturers still use this exact same design 114 years later. But to keep the naysayers under control, we're doing some testing. Now, other than missing 2 cylinders, this is actually gonna be a pretty straightforward high horsepower EJ20 build. I mean, other people have done it. the path has kind of already been paved for us. Of course, they just have 2 more pistons. Now we are hoping for pretty optimistic 300 wheel horsepower, and in order to get that, we're going to need high compression pistons, high strength rods, high flowing heads, a custom engine management solution, an icy air to water intercooler, and really to keep it all together, we're also going to need a closed deck block with fire rings just to handle all the boost we're going to throw at it, all for 300 horsepower. Now this is just an introduction to the car, but if you guys want to stay up to date on what's going on, make sure to hit the subscribe button and join us on our journey to set a land speed record in this silly little Subaru. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.